Hey, everybody. Mark David here, your local home loan expert. And I'm here today with my good friend and say when we're helping families with real estate. John and John, welcome here for everybody that might be listening. Can you share a little bit more about yourself?
Hey, Mark, thanks a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I have been in real estate for since 2013, full time, live in Hartford, and generally work within about a 30 to 60-minute radius of Hartford for, I would say, the good majority of my clients. Well, my background before real estate, I was a trucking contractor. So that's my background going from that into real estate.
And I can be a testament of that we've now helped a number of people over the course of many years here. And of the types of clients, we've helped a lot of different types of clients. But specifically today, I think we were talking a little bit more in detail about different strategies of how we've been helping more and more elderly individuals or aging individuals that are looking to maybe change their real estate just because of the stage in their life, and also helping those families that are helping those individuals. Can you share a little bit, John, just some strategies that you're finding to be good best practices with some of those families and individuals that you're helping to
Yeah,
protect them?
absolutely. Mark, I really enjoy working with older clients. We typically get to know them and their families throughout the process really well. And each of their situations is unique and different and requires a lot of planning, a lot of flexibility, and a lot of problem solving. I generally have a three-step process. And the first, just to do a summary, first, I have a conversation with whoever has reached out to me, do a quick telephone call, and I want to determine a lot of different things from that. After that phone call, then generally I like to stop out there to the house if possible and meet with the decision makers. And then I actually like to make a third trip to go back out and visit after I've taken in all of the information presented in the first two steps. And we make a third appointment and we talk about some of the resources necessary, the process, the pricing, and a plan to move forward.
That yeah, that sounds awesome. And I'm sure the individuals that you've been helping greatly appreciate that taking those steps like that. Do you find that sometimes there's some challenges though with these scenarios that come up, right? Like as far as different things about the property maybe or the dynamics of where they're gonna go next, or how do you handle some of
Yeah, absolutely. So really the first thing to do is just to be patient and ask questions. I don't want to jump in and scare anyone with information. I want to get the lay of the land and kind of figure things out on my end a little bit. So before I meet with them in person. So I want to determine what is the current situation? Was there a traumatic event that occurred? Or is it just a natural type process where maybe they want to downsize, go from a larger house to a smaller house or a condo? Or is it something traumatic that happened? Was there a heart attack? Was there a medical condition? Was there something that's forcing something to happen? So if I can determine that, then I also want to know who are the decision makers. Is it only the current people in that home, or are there family members involved? Is it a power of attorney making decisions, that type of thing? So I really want to try and gather all that information before I even meet with the people.
sure. And I know from a lending standpoint, many of these situations that I know I've been even part of helping you through with some of the mutual clients that we've served. They they have a lot of different unknowns and questions about, okay, if I have my house now and I want to buy the next one and I'm downsizing, maybe the bulk of what they need to buy the next one is trapped in at home in terms of equity. I know in many cases you've tied me in with consulting with the people about possible financing options, which I'm happy to talk just a smidge about that in terms of putting together possible bridging strategies where we advance some money out of the old house so they can buy the new one many times with those funds. so they can then transition into the new house. So then I know for you, it helps better stage the home or maybe declutter a little bit. Don't you
Right.
find that is helpful? Right. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah. So even more questions that I ask are trying to figure out what is the next step for them, what makes sense, because there's so many different scenarios with our senior citizen clients. Are they able to financially afford to go to another home or a condo? And that's where I have you to step in and try to help answer those questions for them. And then I also want to find out, is it possible for them to buy their next place first and then sell, or do they have to sell first and then buy? And that's part of where you step in and offer some solutions to them. And maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the bridge loans and some of the other opportunities that there are for them financially.
yeah. So as I mentioned, with the bridging option is the more common one that some evolve to. But we also have a lot of other ones. For example, many of these scenarios are very well served with the many different reformed reverse mortgage solutions. The reverse mortgage solutions that we're doing nowadays for individuals are drastically different in a good way than what maybe was available 15, 20 years ago. Now, most of the reverse mortgages that are done are very closely monitored and regulated by the government through HUD. So that's a great solution because there's all sorts of different items that we can put in place to help with somebody that might be on a limited or fixed income budget where they can maybe buy a new house with the reverse mortgage. And even though they might buy it technically with cash or they don't have a mortgage against it, we can set that reverse mortgage up where it's actually paying them some money each and every month. And there's a whole bunch of different algorithm or formulas that we follow to figure out how much is a proper amount for them to get back out according to their age, the value of the home, and all those factors. But it sometimes can be a really nice supplemental support to help them feel more comfortable transitioning to that new property. And we also have an option through the reverse mortgages where they get a lump sum amount still from their sale, and they have the amount going to them each and every month. Or just simply they don't have a mortgage payment, but we can have the taxes and insurance covered through the form of the reverse mortgage. So there's a lot of different varieties with a reverse mortgage. We also have a program that's called the all-in-one program, and that's another great solution that basically allows them to have access to their equity very easily, but they're making a monthly payment until they do need it. And that's something that they have access to that program for 30 years forward, regardless of what their age is. Yeah, there's a bunch of more additional programs that we have. But like you're saying, you do a great job with connecting me, and then I consult with them as well to just let them know there's more options.
Absolutely. And that's nice to know because sometimes they may have all of that equity in the house, but they may not have a lot of cash to do things. So
Right.
it's really good to know that there's options for them for that scenario.
Yeah. Another thing I was just thinking as we're talking, maybe could you share a couple recent stories of families that you've helped? I know I visited you at I think one of the open houses this summer, that one lake property. I think you helped that
Yeah,
family, right?
for sure. So I had a family friend asked if I could help sell their parents' home. It was a lake house on Lake Winnebago. I can't go into the financial details in that, but in that scenario, the house is already vacant and they had moved out to an assisted living facility, but they still had furniture and personal belongings in the house. So in that case, the sellers went through and they had an estate sale. And so really that estate sale was able to pay for itself plus give them money at the end. So they
Nice.
received a check for their belongings. They didn't have to do all the work. They just picked and chose what they wanted to keep and what they wanted to give to other family members. And I have different estate sale people throughout Southeast Wisconsin, so I can hook up clients for wherever they're at.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then obviously when you're helping coordinate all that when you're doing your planning sessions with the individuals, consulting with them. So that's
Right.
great. thing because do you find that a lot of times when people are selling a house, I think you mentioned it can be very like overwhelming, right? That they feel, oh my gosh, what do I do with all this stuff? How do I get
Yeah.
the house ready to sell? So that's great.
And I found that they're emotionally attached to both the house and their things. And I get that. So you live in your house for decades and you've got so many memories there. It's really hard to say goodbye to it. So that's where other family members can really be helpful to help be a buffer, or even if it's just for them to agree with the process that's going on. If family members are involved and you've got all the decision makers there and everyone's comfortable with the next steps, that really makes my job a whole lot easier.
Yeah, I would imagine. I think these are all a lot of great points. I don't. Do you have anything else maybe to add or share for anybody that might be listening in reference to what our topic is here today?
Yeah. So I know that you have also offered to do home equity lines of credit in different scenarios to help buyers and sellers make things work for being able to maybe purchase first and then sell. So I don't know if you want to go into that a little bit or not, or
Yeah, for sure. I can touch on that. There again, it's kind of case by case what solution works best, but sometimes the solution, like you're saying, is just as simple as us facilitating a home equity line that we draw on it once they're purchasing a new home, or the equity line might also be to get some money freed up out of that property to help through, just like you were saying, if they need to prep the house for selling. Sometimes is the solution to just temporarily get that money in their hands is sometimes the difference of making the whole process possible or even just to make it easier for them in general. And then in addition to an equity line, we do have some other, again, equity advanced type strategies to, we were talking about before, buying the next property because of that. Or there's just, again, many different ways to facilitate helping and serving some of these individuals, which we try to brainstorm and come up with whatever is possible. Try to make it easy also for the families that we're helping because sometimes, like you said, there's a lot of dynamics going on, not just with the numbers, but the emotional side of it too,
yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I guess the other thing that I'd want to share is that not every home is going to be up to date and in sellable condition right away. And so I've got a plan to help get the sellers the most money possible. So whatever circumstances work out for them. If they're not able to clean out the house themselves, we've got companies that can do that. I've done sales where things are left in the house and the buyers are willing to take that on. We've had homes that are in really bad condition. I've had property flippers come in and just worry about all that. So the sellers don't have to worry about hiring contractors. They don't have to worry about cleaning, fixing, updating, any of that kind of stuff. So of course, it's on a case by case basis, but we can help out sellers no matter what condition the house is in.
That is fantastic. I think this has all been a lot of great information we talked about today. So, anybody that might be seeing this or listening to this, definitely reach out to us. You can comment on wherever this might be posted, or definitely reach out to us directly. We'll put our contact information in the post. And again, we're always happy to help and serve whomever it might be with the real estate opportunities or real estate challenges. Again, John, thank you for joining here today. I think
It's
conversations.
great to talk with you and share. Absolutely. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Bye bye now.